For more on this, we now speak to Durban International Film Festival manager Andrea Voges on South Africa's longest running film festival. And Andrea joins us via our Zoom link. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Of course, we now know that this is indeed the longest running film festival in the country. It's the 44th installment. Clearly, you've come a long way when it comes to the film festival in Durban.
Yes, as you've said, we have been running for 44 years. We are the longest running and largest film festival in sub-Saharan Africa, and we are very proud of our long and important history.
And perhaps maybe if you can just give us a bit of an insight, what can film lovers expect from this festival?
Our program is really quite strong. We're very proud of it. We have features, docs, short films, as well as student films. We've got a total of 89 films from all over the world. And as you've mentioned, some really strong award-winning films, including 3 titles that premiered at Cannes in May. And there's 3 Cannes titles are actually African films. And then also our opening night film, Sira, is by an African female director from Burkina Faso, Apolline Taror. And then our closing night film as well, African female director, Banal and Adama will close. So our program showcases films from all over the world, but there really is a focus on Africa. That's very important to us, creating a space for Africa and celebrating our stories.
And I understand that the film festival really is running over 10 days. Maybe if you can, I know that you've given us the opening and the closing, but perhaps if you can just give us the highlight so far of the film festival.
Yeah, so we run 10 days. We started on the 20th, so Thursday, and we finish on the 30th, which is Sunday. So many highlights. I see here up on the screen, we've got a fire. It won the Silver Bear, so that's the second top prize at the Berlin Film Festival. Berlin is considered one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world. And then we do have some really great South African films. Runs in the Family by Ian Gabriel, that showed over the weekend on Friday actually, and it's going to show again. All our films show twice, all the features and documentaries show twice, so if you've missed anything, you still have time to catch up. And then you also mentioned Mapansula, and for the first time in our 44 years, we actually had this film screen in a few cinemas throughout South Africa, and that was on Sunday. So that was a really important film, and we wanted to make it accessible to more than just Durbanites. So many films. Another great one is Rice Boy Sleeps, a Canadian film about immigration and a South Korean family immigrating to Canada, and all the challenges that come with that. So our program is really strong. It's really important. DIF is a platform for filmmakers to show their work outside of the big, platforms like Netflix, Showmax, DSTV. So it is an important platform. So if you can't get into those kind of platforms, you can come and show your work here with us.
And perhaps maybe let's speak about the City of Ashes. This is something that many of us can relate to, especially with the setting of that scene.
Yeah, so City of Ashes, it's a short film, fiction by Megan Chittal, really strong. It's set in the future, which is kind of funny because normally, a few years ago, we would watch a film and we would think it's so far off that would never happen to us, except we've just come out of a pandemic. Really strong film. And you guys, for those that are in Durban or visiting Durban, should come and catch it again. It should be screening again.
And perhaps if maybe you can just tell us, why is it so important for us to have, this has been running for 44 years. Why is it so important to our society and the art community?
Yeah, so our traditional ways of accessing cinema, be it cinema, our Ster-Kinekor or New Metro, and they play an important role in our our system of film, but they do generally tend to show a lot of American cinema, or cinema that's quite palatable and very entertaining. And while that has a place, we do want to showcase films that are artistic and tell stories that maybe are a little bit difficult, and present us with ideas that make us think a bit and stimulate conversation. So it really is important for film festivals to exist and for people to support them. Even if you just think about monopolies, if there's just a few places that are showcasing content, then it means that the power's in fewer hands. So while we appreciate and work with cinemas and streaming platforms like Netflix and Showmax and so on, and they are important and we want them to be there, but we do need alternatives like film festivals, just so that it's balanced. And then, everywhere that filmmakers have more than just a couple of places to show their work.
And perhaps if maybe a film enthusiast would like to get involved and would like to showcase their film, what is the process that they should follow to getting their films on that screen?
Okay, so the Durban International Film Festival, we normally open for submissions in November each year. So we open in November and we close, the closing date varies. Sometimes it's end of February, beginning of March. So you can follow us on social media or check our website for when we open, but generally it is November. So filmmakers would submit their work there. It goes through a rigorous process. This year we received over 3,300 submissions and we're showing 90 films. So there is quite a cutting down, but we're proud of the work that we do. And if anybody that is interested, and we encourage particularly South African and African filmmakers, so please submit their work in November.
And how does the public actually access these films? We know that it's taking place in Durban. Perhaps if you can just also give us the process of the enthusiasts are trying to get a hand on the tickets for the film festival.
Okay, so this year is our first physical edition after being online or hybrid for 3 years. So we have gone back to physical. And this year we have our screenings happening at Cine Centre Suncoast. It's a smaller cinema chain. They do have a few cinemas throughout the country. But for DIF, it's at the Cine Centre Suncoast. And you can get tickets through their website.
All right. Okay, then. Thank you very much, Andrea. That is Andrea Voges from the Durban International Film Festival.